Morning, everyone. It is currently 8:58 a.m. EST. Just finished making breakfast, a normal everyday breakfast. I did a little bit more this morning. Made breakfast. I have to meal prep today. I have to do my chicken and rice for the next couple days. So I'm thawing out the chicken in some water. I'd clean all the pans, do all the dishes. Just normal everyday stuff. Generally, my routine in the morning is I get up around 8 a.m. and then maybe 7:30, 7:45. Uh, get up, clean up the kitchen, make my breakfast, listen to some music while I do it. Let my wife sleep. She generally works, like I said, 3 to 11. So she doesn't get to bed until 1 or 2 a.m. because we both stay up to kind of, see each other and go over each other's days, etc. So, also got my coffee this morning. I'm not going to show you it because I only have like it's half filled. I'm not particularly, the most avid enjoyer of coffee, but it's good for me. So, okay. And right now, I'm trying to find this perfect mix between the creamer and the coffee so it doesn't taste too much like coffee, but so I don't use a third of the bottle of creamer. So, but I'm starving, so I'm going to go in for my first bite. Nom nom. Yeah, that's awesome. So it's Sunday, obviously. I don't have much to do today. My wife works. I have to go to the store here after the morning stream, get some eggs. I want to look for like a little trash can just to put down here right now. There's just like a trash bag attached to my table, which works, but a little trash can would be better. I think that's it for the day. My daughter's been with her grandmother for the last week. She loves staying over there. We're fine with her staying over there. My son's been here, obviously, so she comes back today. Um, so I'll have both the kids here. I'm not sure how much I'll be able to stream. Generally, when she comes back, she's super hyper, and her brother don't generally get along that well. So if I do stream, there'll be a lot of intermittent, like having to stop, go tell them to stop hurting each other or stop breaking stuff, and then I'll be back, and then it's gonna go back and forth, this way and this way. It's very weird looking at the screen. Everything's opposite of what I'm doing. Anyway, so that's pretty much my day today. I have to get a shower in. Uh, so yeah, yesterday did not go as planned. So I'll tell you guys about that a little bit. I told you guys yesterday that I was gonna go do an auction, drop off the items, pick up the cash. I took my son with me, and that went really well. We were there for about 45 minutes. The whole thing lasted about an hour. The only crappy thing about it was that it was freezing, and we have to stand outside with a sign. But my son wanted to hold the sign the entire time, and I'm like, all right, buddy, but it's going to be cold. He's like, if you get cold, let me know. You can go in the car. And he stayed out for most of the time. And near the end, we were still waiting for someone to come pick up an item. So I just, picked him up, put him on top of the car, and he was loving it. Yeah, Shaquille. I'll go on my Twitter after the stream. Uh, but like Shaquille said, like if you guys follow me on Twitter, I'll follow you right back. It's follow for follow. If you guys are also content creators, post stuff on YouTube, streamers, anything like that, I'll like and retweet all your stuff. You know, us smaller streamers or people starting out, or even major streamers, I think it's really important that content creators as a community, retweet each other and try to help each other out because you can't grow as a streamer without help from other streamers. I mean, maybe you can, but it's going to take exponentially longer. And why do it by yourself? Why not get help from other people? People who have been content creators for years can help you out. I'm going to reach out to people. I'm going to learn how to edit videos. I'm going to learn how to do stuff a lot better than I'm doing it right now. Because why not? And if they choose not to help, then that's their prerogative. They don't have to. If someone follows me, I don't have to follow them back. Or if I follow them, they don't have to follow me back. It's just better as content creators or streamers that we help each other out. I'm saying that as a brand new streamer, obviously, but 3, 4, 5 years from now, if by whatever miracle, I am a huge content creator at that point, I'm still going to do the same thing. If you follow me, I'll follow you back. Obviously, unless you're a troll account or toxic, like hyper toxic, or hyper racist, or all this other stuff. Because why wouldn't I? I could have 1 million followers on Twitch, and I'm still going to host someone at the end of my stream who has 10 followers or 10 viewers. It doesn't. You have to help people out, or the community's never going to grow. There's already, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people trying to make it as content creators on YouTube, streamers, social media influencers on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, just whatever, wherever you want to go with this. But it's better to help each other out than not. I hear the excuse, I don't want the competition or anything. Well, if you're already a top-end streamer, someone like me who's just starting out, that's not going to be any competition to you, at least not for a long time. And if you stack your paper correctly, if you invest correctly, if you save correctly within those 2 to 3 years that it would take me to even get close to the prestige that a huge streamer has, even if I do overtake you, you're still going to be a huge streamer, and you'll still have enough money for the rest of your life. So, and you should still feel happy for people's success, even if it is a competition. I told you guys I play card tournaments and stuff like that. If my buddies beat me in an event, which doesn't often happen, not that they don't beat me, but we don't really play, because there's thousands of players at these events. We generally don't play until like the far later rounds, because the winning records play winning records, et cetera, et cetera. But if they beat me and they knock me out of contention for top 8, or I beat them and I knock them out of contention, there is that initial salt, there is that initial sadness and unhappiness, because we're competitive players. But right after that, you are fucking thrilled for your friends, right? Like, why wouldn't you be happy that your friend is succeeding, even if they have to beat you to do so? And I think that's the same thing in this space. I feel like if someone is doing something better than you, learn from them. Don't get salty at them. Learn from them. If they're getting more viewers than you, if they're getting more followers, if they're getting more money, learn from it. Ask for help. If they don't want to help you, if they don't want to teach you, then that's fine. But you should also never expect that back either. If a top streamer is helping a little streamer constantly, they should never expect a kickback, like ever. Unless it was prearranged or something. Like, here, I'll host you every single night with my 3,000 viewers to your 3 viewers, but you have to retweet all of my streams or something like that. There's always quid pro quo in this business. Nothing's for free. Everyone knows that. But, so that's my little rant about the community. Back to yesterday. So we went to do the auction. That went well. We got the money and everything like that. My wife got to work about an hour early, which actually worked out, since the auction went from 1 to 2, and we left about 1:45, and she got out around 2:15. So me and my son were able to just go out there, grab her. We were coming back home, deciding on what to have for lunch, a late lunch, and my mom called. My mom's in hospice care right now, and she had left hospice to go spend the night with a friend and her friend's son, and things didn't go well, and we needed to drive about 35 minutes out of our way to go get her. Now, the cancer she has, stage 4 pancreatic cancer. It's gonna kill her. Barring a miracle, that's just life. But the meds she's on and the cancer that has spread throughout her body does affect her mentally. So it's very difficult to be around her, and she can go from one extreme to another very quickly. So it is very infuriating when, it interrupts mine and my wife's lives. If it happened, sporadically and not constantly, it really wouldn't be that big of an issue, but it happens a lot. And me and my wife are already struggling financially. Our car still needs to be fixed. Thankfully, gas is very low right now. Gas here is only $2.96 a gallon. I heard that's supposed to go up after the new year, like dramatically. I'm hoping it doesn't, but just in case it does, today I'm going to fill up the car. So we had to go get her, take her back to hospice, calm her down, be the dutiful son that I need to be. Unfortunately, my wife doesn't feel very well right now. We were supposed to take her to the walk-in, but after that trip, we went to get food. After that, we had to go to the store, and so I have to take her to the walk-in this morning. She didn't really feel like going last night after we had to basically go out of our way for everything. So yeah, I have a beard and it gets in my mouth sometimes. Grody. So yeah, that was a little sidetrack, but that's okay. Other than that, everything went really well. Got home maybe around 5-ish, after we were planning to be home around 3:30. So it really wasn't that bad of a backtrack. When I got home, I was hyper exhausted. I was gonna stream, but I decided to lay down instead. When I woke up, it was 7:30, almost 8 o'clock at night. She didn't feel like cooking. I don't know how to cook, like, at all. I already told you guys that I suck at cooking. I'll burn stuff. We really don't have the money to afford me burning stuff and ruining stuff, so we decided to get pizza last night. And being a type 2 diabetic, I'm just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to eat here. Like, so I looked and I looked, and they didn't really have the healthiest options as far as like crust and stuff like that. I mean, there's like low carb crust and everything like that, but the only thing they had was gluten free, and gluten free really doesn't particularly help diabetics that much. So I'm just like, why? What's the point? But I ended up getting a traditional vegetarian pizza. I had black olives, red onion, sweet red onion. What else did I have? Tomato, and I think that was it. Light cheese, light sauce, and thin crust. And it was delicious. Ever since I got out of the hospital, and ever since I've changed my diet a lot, things are a lot more tasteful to me. Like my taste buds have changed a little bit. Because before, black olives would have just never been a thing that I would have put on anything or eaten ever. But it was pretty good. So after that, we came home. My son is the pickiest eater on the planet, so he tried my wife's barbecue chicken pizza. He kind of liked it. He picked off most of the toppings and stuff like that, but he ate it, so that was a win. After that, he went to bed. We try to keep him at around like a 9 to 10 o'clock bedtime. He's on Christmas break right now, for any of you with kids, obviously, and we don't want him to get too far gone of his regular bedtime because him and my daughter's regular bedtime is around 7 o'clock, so they can get enough sleep and get up for school and not be tired, etc. So we don't want to get him too far off track, so it's easier for him to get back to that 7 o'clock bedtime. So he went to bed. Me and my wife came in our game room. She did her dots, not Dippin' Dots. They're called diamond dots. They're like little beads that you use a utensil and you stick it into a picture. You can see the Spider-Man all the way over there. That way. I don't know how to do this, but you see the Spider-Man, and then there's a panda right there. That's what my mom did for me. and it's a dime a dot thing. She does that. Um, I was gonna stream, but I was kind of out of it. I was tired. Plus, we were eating, so I decided to start watching the Purge movies. I had already watched two of them the previous night. So the prequel Purge movie, um, the one that came out second to the last one, the Forever Purge, is the last one. The prequel, really good. You guys should watch it. The original Purge movie from I think 2013, where it's basically just a home invasion type movie. If that's your thing, watch it. It's a great home invasion movie. But if you're expecting like Purge-esque events and stuff like that, I didn't like it. I don't like movies that are centered around just one area. Movies like there's a movie where these girls are trapped on a tower. That wasn't too bad, but I don't like it when you're in one specific area for the entire movie. If it's just a ship for the entire movie and you never leave the ship, there's a movie called Phone Booth. There's a movie with James DeFranco where he was trapped in between rocks. Now I haven't seen that movie, but for what I understand, most of it is trapped in between those rocks. That's just boring to me. I like big open spaces. I'm like a dog. I like my movies huge. I love the Lord of the Rings movies. You know, just where there's big open spaces and everyone's traveling around places and everything like that. Or even if it's just a city and you're moving through the city like most of the Purge movies are. I like that more than just a centered area. It's just boring to me. So the prequel Purge movie, I give that 2 thumbs up. The original Purge movie, it's not something I'll watch again. Purge Anarchy and Purge Election Year, both really good. Watch those. And I think I have the Forever Purge left that I'm going to watch tonight at some point, which I'm hoping is going to be good. I'm assuming everything's gone to shit, and it's no longer one day a year, a 7-hour period or 12-hour period. It just happens all the time. So if you like those types of movies, I highly suggest it. It's really good. That was a big bite. So yeah, that ended up being my day yesterday. I think that's what I'm going to start doing is during my breakfast streams tell you about what I'm going to do for the day and then what actually happened the previous day. Seems to be more logical. Like I said today, it's just going to be a store trip and a trip to the walk-in for my wife. So she's not feeling too well still, so after that both the kids will be home. They'll be playing with their toys, doing their thing. And I'll probably stream at that point. Hopefully they'll leave me alone. Generally they're pretty good about it. They keep to themselves. Every time I'm not streaming, I'm generally with them, making sure they don't break stuff, playing with them, trying to teach them about life, which is, I know, a hard concept to understand for a 5 and a 7-year-old. But yesterday I let my son help me pump gas, and he was fucking thrilled. He wants to do it by himself next time, which, I don't know, I'll have him probably watch me a couple more times just to make sure, because last thing we need is him to start the pump before it's in the tank and then click it to hold it, and then we just pour gas all over the place. Which I've never done that, or I've never squirted gas because I haven't put it in the tank far enough. I was taught how to pump gas when I was 6 years old, so yeah, it's gonna be a pretty uneventful day, at least planned. My mom has texted me already this morning with her craziness, so I don't know if we're gonna have to make a trip over there or not. She's on the opposite side of town as us, unfortunately, so I mean, thankfully, there's a back road that goes all the way over there. It's really not busy all the time. But yeah, so that's the plan for today. Nothing too special or spectacular. So yeah, there's really nothing else to I think I need to talk about today. That was pretty much it that was on the agenda. Oh yeah. So uh my daughter's grandmother is from my wife's side. Um and she tries to include both the kids in things she does, but it's generally just so when I say my daughter or my son, they are not my biological children. They are my wife's kids with different fathers that are no longer in the picture. They're both terribly physically and mentally abusive individuals. Um, and when I originally started dating my wife, I got into the situation. So let me preface this by saying that I never thought I wanted kids ever in my entire life. Never did I think I would be a father, unless it was an accident. It was just never in my plan. I always thought I wanted to do stuff by myself, individually, travel, do all these things, right? But my wife, I fell in love with her, and I could not be without her. Like I needed to be with her. She needed to be with me, and in order to do that, I had to become a father. You cannot be with someone who has kids and not be a parent to those kids. Now, if their biological parents are good people and they're on good terms with the person you're with, it's a little different. You still need to be a parent to them, but I guess I don't want to say to a lesser extent because that's not the case, but it's more simple. But when I got with her, she had gotten away from her exes, obviously. She was living by herself with her two kids, and she still dealt with shared custody of them with these two assholes. And when I got with her, I learned about all this. I learned about the abuse, the mental and physical abuse to her, the mental abuse to the children, and I don't fuck with that shit. Not at all. That is not a Corey thing. No, just no. That shit stopped immediately, and I made sure that her exes knew exactly who I was as a man and who I was as a person, and that you don't fuck with me at all. And over the course of, because we have been living together now a little over a year, so over the course of this last year, my son's biological father gone out of the picture, will never be back in the picture, and that was my doing. My daughter's biological father is still in the picture a little bit, but we've been keeping her from him because he had a bedbug issue, which she brought to this home, which we've had to have 4 treatment for, and thankfully it's gone now. But we've been keeping her actively from his parenting time because of that purpose, which we talked to a lawyer, I talked to CPS, I talked to front of the court. That is a legitimate reason why you should keep a child from a parent, because it's disgusting, it's dangerous, and spreading bed bugs makes you an asshole. But now it's getting to the point where all his rights are going to start going away, and that's also my doing. I call them my kids because they are my kids. I love them. I would die for them, and that's that. When I say my children, I mean my step kids. They are not my biological children, but to me they are. Their fathers are pieces of shit. My daughter's father may be in her life in the future, and my son, if he wants, when he gets older, to choose to be a part of his father's life, that's his choice. I'm not going to stop him. but he will find out what type of man his father is, just like my daughter will find out what type of man her father is. But my daughter's father is kind of bitch made. He lets people push him around. He doesn't really have a spine, so he's not. Other than the physical and verbal abuse to my wife, who has kind of gotten over it, not really forgiven him, but she's moved past that. You know, we still want our daughter to be around him to a degree, at least supervised through us. So I just wanted to explain that family dynamic right there and what's going on with that. When I say my son, my daughter, it's my stepson and my stepdaughter. And when I say my wife, it's my fiance. We aren't married yet. She actually proposed to me. I said yes immediately. But we're gonna do a Halloween wedding. We're both Halloween freaks. We love Halloween. So the wedding's planned for October 31st of 2024. We've thought about just doing a courthouse wedding just to make everything official, and then having the ceremony and everything like that, like the big ceremony in the 31st. Because if we're legally married, it would be a lot easier for me to adopt the two kids legally, so that their parents literally, their bio fathers literally could have nothing to do with them. So that was a little bit of real talk for a second. But anyway, back to that. So my daughter's grandmother, I think, is going to pick up my son today and take both of them to the movies. I'm trying to be a little quiet about it because, my son's awake and he's like on the opposite side of this wall. I have the door closed to the room, but, he doesn't need to know that he's getting this treat because he's grounded currently. Nothing too bad. He was picking at the wall in the bathroom, taking, paint off and stuff like that, something he's not supposed to be doing. So he got grounded for a couple days for that, which will probably be lifted tonight if he can be good. So I think they're going to do that for a couple hours, and then they'll be back, and then she's also going to take them again on Tuesday, so that my wife and I can have like a date night, like a night to us, like ourselves, because we have not been alone together. Like, we haven't had a day to ourselves in a year since we've been living together. Like, it just hasn't been a thing. If you're a parent that doesn't have help from other family members very often, you know how that is. It just becomes kind of normal, that you don't have time to yourself anymore. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. When you have children, you should expect that you will no longer be alone ever again. And that's fine. I've gotten used to it. And like I said, I never expected to have kids ever. But I don't think I could imagine my life without them. I really don't. And if things just ended up not working out with my wife and I would really hope that she would still let me see them, from time to time. I don't know. Like, if you're a parent, or if you were not a parent and you didn't expect to ever have children, and then you got put into the situation where you became a parent, whether it was accidentally or on purpose, like I actively chose to, you know how it just changes your life forever. And it's never in a bad way. So that's kind of the plan for the kids for today. So maybe while both of them are gone, my wife will be at work, and then maybe that's where I can stream for a couple hours, just kind of uninterrupted. But yeah, so that's the plan for today. I'm actually gonna cut the stream now, finish my breakfast, get around, get to the store, get my wife to the walk-in, and just get the day going. Thanks to anyone who stopped by. Throw me a follow on Twitter, throw me a follow here. I'm going to be attempting to do this every morning between, like 7:30 to 8:30. That's when I'll probably start going live. But yeah, I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you, Shaquille, for the follow on Twitter. Thanks for talking in chat. And I'll see you guys later today.